Alright, and we're back on my stream. I was trying to stream kind of like a general Greymane guide. I'll try and go in depth on some points, and I was just trying to kind of record, and so I'm doing this kind of live right now, and I'm going to try and make sure that I cover as much points that I think that are important without giving too much information. Because, as I said before, so I probably have about over 10,000 games played in general between my accounts. Play around like 1,500 points to 2,000 on Masters, Hero League, Team League, past couple seasons. And this Hero League game is obviously solo queue. This is a higher level game. It's not like GM number 1 or 2, but March is in here. Bam Bam's playing tank of the enemy team. And I think there's 1 or 2 other GMs. And yeah, this is one of the games that I got. And I couldn't go to sleep, so I was kind of just playing super late. And I got in this game, and it was pretty fun. But really quick, before we go into the game, just to recognize Greymane's strengths and weaknesses. So first of all, Greymane, he's almost like a jack of all trades. So his strengths are wave clear. He takes mercs very well. He can solo merc the siege, obviously. A lot of people can now. He can also solo merc the bruiser. And the thing is, he does it quickly. So he does it very quickly without taking too much time. So Greymane can just go to the bruiser, do the bruiser, not spend too much time, go back to lane, join his 4-man team. And that's usually where he is in the rotation. He's usually with the 4-man team, or if it's a 2-2-1 or something, or he's by himself, maybe on like, Warhead Junction or something, in a bottom lane maybe. But yeah, he can take camps very quickly, get back to lane, and go back to soaking. He's also good at poking, and he is also good at finishing as well. So he's kind of like a jack of all trades in that aspect. And his weaknesses, obviously, he's a high priority target for the enemy. So you have to be careful about getting CC'd and getting damaged by, let's say, getting outranged by like a Lunara in this match, for instance, or a Sylvanas or something. If you get CC'd and then the enemy team has good range damage, then they can, absolutely kind of cut you out, slow you, CC you, and put a lot of damage on you. So you have to be careful about going in Worgen form a lot. And when I used to play Greymane, I used to kind of just try and go in Worgen as much as possible without really looking at the enemy team matchup, like how would the team fight unfold. How am I going to get CC'd? I would just say, okay, ooh, here's a target. Let me like, curse bullet and then jump in and do as much damage as possible. And the more games I played with Greymane, the more I realized, you really do have to learn how to play Greymane in his ranged and his melee form. You kind of have to know when is the time to pull the trigger. And there's a couple of things that you look for when knowing when to pull the trigger. Obviously, the most obvious sign is if your enemy is really low and you can get the finish immediately. If you can 100% say, I can get this finish, I may not get out, but I can absolutely 100% get this finish, then you know what, go for it. Obviously, in that instance, I would try and get the finish with using my escape abilities to try and keep those things off cooldown. So let's say you're Greymane and you can Worgen in and get the kill. Save your Q and save your E. Save that razor swipe to Q back and E away. So after you get that kill, and manage your inner beast too. But so I'm gonna go right into this after just touching upon those basic points.
10.
And I'm gonna turn down the volume so I don't get drowned out by the game volume. So initially, our Diablo kind of just wants to, I guess, look where the enemy team is, maybe go for a gank. So we start off this bottom lane a little funny. And our matchup in the bottom lane is going to be the Noob, the Sylvanas and Malfurion, and the Lunara against us. And the Blaze is going to solo top. I'm going to try and lock cameras just so it's easy to follow. Okay, so right away, they see we don't have our tank, so they're kind of just doing whatever. In the lane, ideally, I always hold on to my cocktail to get value off of the wave. So this guy steps up. I'm not sure. I think I throw a cocktail, which can be played better. Ultimately, I can just move forward on this Sylvanas, wait for him to back behind the front minion wave, throw the cocktail, and get most value hitting him and the entire wave. So that's a misplay, obviously, but I think maybe I get excited, jump the gun, throw out the cocktail, kind of just as a reaction. You see, like, my cocktail hits. I'm not sure if I think it hits the Sylvanas too, but it only hits the first, yeah, the first three, and then the wizard in the middle. So ideally, you want to be throwing it at the middle first creep, so it can hit all minions, and then ideally as well hit these backline enemies. So you see immediately. So I know that I don't really have a lot of pressure. When Greymane is not being pressured, ideally you want to put pressure on someone. So I see Sylvanas is still stepped up. We have a tank versus tank kind of skirmish going on. I pop my inner beast. So as soon as I want to pressure someone, I'm popping inner beast. And you want to kind of manage your inner beast too. You want to keep it up as long as possible. Obviously you don't want to be in threat range, but I'm moving up to get a globe because the Sylvanas has been pressured off. I see the Lunara is looks like the Lunara wants to deal with Diablo. So I'm gonna kind of trying to pressure the Sylvanas. And I don't know where the Malfurion is, but that's my idea right now. And you see, I'm just, even as the backline backs up, that's okay. I don't go chasing, right? I keep my inner beast up. I just auto attack the wave. That's it. I want to keep my inner beast up. And Greymane is also really good against a noob because a noob's beetles help Greymane keep up his inner beast very, very well. You kind of just have to learn how to just obviously kite with Greymane and just back up, auto attack, while still hitting something. A minion wave, or if Spartan is, if his position's not great, if he steps up through the brush into here, I'll be auto attacking him. But if he starts backing up, or if it looks like he's going to engage on me, I'll back up, and I'll also, in the meantime, obviously, I'll stutter auto attacking his beetle safely, and I'll back up at the same time. Okay, so you see Spartan steps up. Like I said, my job as Greymane is to always threaten someone. Threaten somebody. I have my inner beast up, and people undervalue Greymane's ranged auto attack. Yeah, it's not a lot, but with inner beast, if you just kite it out and you get free damage, like you'll see, I just get free damage. Like, why not take the free damage? Put free damage on them. And you see, obviously, you see like they start moving up, or my Diablo's moving back, so I'm like, okay, I have to kind of kite back a little bit. But I'm auto attacking the beetles in the meantime because I want to keep my inner beast up for as long as possible. And then my move up, see, they back up. Asgard gives kind of a silence, so I'm not being pressured right here. I'm not scared of this noob. If he goes in, he can't really do anything. It's these guys. If he sees me and these guys are ready to follow up, then I have to back up. But right now, I'm looking at health bars. A noob rack has less health than me, so fuck that. I'm just gonna auto this guy, put as much pressure on as I can, because I'm not threatened by these three. These three are not threatening me. Diablo's a little far back. That's fine. I'm not gonna really comment on anyone else's gameplay except for mine. Alright, inner beast still up. Where does a noob go? I have no one else in vision, but guess what? Like I said, Greymane is great against a noob rack, so I keep my inner beast just smacking that beetle. Keep on smacking the beetle, and I'm moving forward. Noob rack gets a nice little spine on me. Hey, that's okay. Things happen. He did it from brush, so I can't really predict that. But I still keep up my inner beast, and I'm just kiting back, like I said. So whenever I feel pressure, I just kite back and try and auto. If there's something there for me to auto, and I can safely kite back and auto, then that's what I'm gonna do. And a noob rack goes in. He doesn't, I think it's a combination of me kind of moving back and kiting back, and him not having the best aim, so I don't get hit by his charging. Putting damage, throwing out cocktails. Using those beetles to keep my inner beast. Look at this right now, 24 hit combo, right? And my inner beast is still up. Check this out. So they start backing up, and I see. So remember when I said you have to know when to go range and when to go melee? The Sylvanas is just taking too much poke. I'm pretty sure Marsh is putting good poke on him, and I see this. Okay, the Sylvanas should be dead, and if I don't take this, if I don't take this with my inner beast up and my dark flight to Worgen, then there's no other better time. So I see the Sylvanas has a little over 1,000 health. I have my inner beast up. This is perfect time for me to just dark flight in, try and dodge any CC, and just get some autos in. So I immediately jump on him, attack him once, auto attack him another time, and then immediately I start backing up. I secure the kill and start backing up. Now maybe I could have held on to my razor swipe, but at this point in time, I was full health, so I'm like thinking, you know what? Let me just put as much damage onto Sylvanas. I'm full health. My team is here. I can use I can put all my abilities into this kill, and I should be safe. I just back up, and this is the beautiful thing too with Greymane. Like, if you get comfortable with him, you can start to do some cool things with him. So I see that as soon as I get out of immediate danger, Diablo kind of goes on this the Lunara, and we're still kind of healthy enough. We can kind of play around with this. Like, even though the Anub is going in, and Lunara can't put any free damage, right? Malfurion doesn't really do too much damage, so we can kind of re-engage here. Obviously, Lunara gets away, and we get rooted. The Malfurion has some good CC and kind of ensures that we don't follow up on the Lunara. And then we just get healed up by Stukov, and we're good. We got a kill. We have a little bit of experience lead, and we're continuing to play the lane. And I'm just moving around because I don't want to get, you know, I'm lower health, so Stukov has the best sustain. So in this meantime, while I'm waiting on Stukov's cooldowns to get us healthy again, I'm just moving around. I don't want to get hit by CC. There's you know, I mean, like, a noob can always pull the trigger. That's why I was always moving around, because I don't want to get hit by this CC and get followed up. And that's, once again, going into looking at your lane matchups. See what is threatening to you, and CC is definitely threatening to the Greymane. Okay. So as soon as they pop up, and this is probably preemptive. I probably should have just stayed because we couldn't like body block him. If I, let's say, Worgen onto him and queued past him, if the noob wreck was around this area where the Diablo is, then we can kind of body block him, and we're going to get some good free damage on him, and maybe Asgard puts a really good lurking arm where he can't E out. So I pop my Inner Beast because I want to put as much damage on this guy as possible since he's not threatening anyone. Swipe forward. I get some decent damage on him. And then, you know, I see, like, once again, you got to know when not to chase. So I got my damage. I probably won't be able to keep up Inner Beast unless I do something fancy, which is okay, you know. Just roll to the side of the lane and try and get as much poke with the cocktail. And cocktails are also great to get the beetles. Noob's beetles are also great to get free cocktail damage. Cocktail's up again right before the wave comes up, so I cocktail the wave, get most of the wave. My Inner Beast is up. We're just working on the wave. I pop my Inner Beast because I see them pressing again, so I'm just kind of kiting, keeping my cocktail up, attacking either the enemy or the minion wave. I'm just gonna put free pressure on this noob all day. If he wants to step up, like, slowly, like, look, slowly he's gonna take damage. Even he hits his CC, he's just taking too much damage. Like, punish him, you know, punish anyone who's gonna let you put free damage on him. So now Noob has taken too much free autos from Greymane, and obviously, like, March has probably put some good damage in there. So now he has to back up. No one saw that horrible cocktail miss, but what I was trying to do obviously was hit the gate and then splash back to the enemy heroes to try and get some poke on them before going to the objective. I guess we trade out on a kill. The Gazlo dies first, then our team kills the Sylvanas. And Greymane is great for Immortal Race. So blue team does have a camp top, and immediately I see, okay, so blue team has a camp top, right? We can't waste time. We have to burn this Immortal and then figure out if we're going to deal with the camp. So I pop my Inner Beast right away so we can get this Immortal to half health while the enemy team gets their Bruiser. And initially I kind of want to clear that camp, but I see that we've committed to the burn, so I go right back onto the Immortal burn. So Sylvanas, I just zoned off the Sylvanas. I kind of created some space, but it looks like Asgard's taking heavy damage. So I kite back to the team, and I'm pretty sure most of the CC has been used to try and focus down this Asgard. So I'm going to try and threaten someone, and the best threat and target for me is obviously the squishy Malfurion. So I believe okay, so I smacked, yeah, I auto the mortal once, and pretty sure I'm trying to put some free damage. And I see myself, I'm pretty zoned off, so I either have to engage on the tanks or back off of the back line because I can't 1v3. I'm not that much of a pro, but March is looking to put in some flank damage. So I see the noob pretty low, so I try and smack him a couple times and then back out. And this is, I can't really, it's dangerous to disengage from this point because they can just line up CC. So I tend to just go back this way. I don't know if that's the perfect play, but it's just what I end up doing in the game. Perfect cocktail. You have the immortal, so try and get some cocktail damage on the back line. I don't know if it hits anyone. No, because I don't have my level 7 talent yet, or whatever. Maybe no, it just doesn't hit. Bam Bam gets a good stun on us. And obviously, too, you can use your Worgen to hop onto someone and razor swipe in the opposite direction. So that's one way to disengage, too. I'll probably die here anyways. I shouldn't have re-engaged in this area. Maybe it was a misclick, or maybe it's just me saying fuck it. Probably a little bit of both. Yeah. I don't know why I go back in there, but... So it looks like the top camp has been dealt with or cleared out. Bottom camp is still pushing, but it's kind of been cleared out, and we have a big lead on the Immortal race. A lot to do with Li Ming poke and then Greymane getting some autos here and there. And it's obviously too, you want to use your Inner Beast when burning, and you want to disengage when you can, and use your Razor Swipe to dodge the Immortal stun. You know it's coming as soon as you go melee. We get a little locked up in this choke point, and so we didn't really want to take this fight. March didn't have a lot of mana. Our Diablo was already low, and they have 2 tanks, so their tanks are doing can absorb more damage from the backline. So they can have 1 tank go in, absorb damage, trade on Diablo, then back up, and the other tank comes in, trades more damage, and Diablo's already low from the initial damage trade. But we get the Immortal, and obviously Greymane just wants to kind of push. Whenever there's an Immortal right here, and you see enemies, throw out your free Qs on the wall so you can splash damage to the back line. Obvious stuff. If you didn't know, just saying it again. Trying to be not too crazy, aggressive here because our tank's not here yet. But you see this high kill target. March is already. So there's 2 things to do here. I could smack the noob, which he's got a much higher health bar, or we can look like we had an easy collapse on the Lunera, and the Diablo's right there to kind of engage on her. So that's why we all just turn and focus Lunera. Lands a nice orb. Smack her autos. Inner Beast is up. So once again, guys, commit the Inner Beast if you want a quick pick. Commit it all the time. Don't hold on to it. Roll forward to try and get some to get another Q stack. I'm level 7, so I'm trying to get my Q stacks as much as possible. Archer's doing a nice job of zoning off the back line. Noob has to just burrow out, and we're just trying to... I wanted to finish this 4th. I think we'll probably go for it anyways. We have 4v3. Yeah, just say fuck it. Just go for it. Check this out. So that entire time, I auto... Even though we're not sure if we want to take this engage or not, even when you're disengaging, like, if you're already in melee range, like, there's no reason... Unless you're super low and you need to get the fuck out of dodge, there's no reason to not, like, kite back and auto and disengage at the same time. Because it's a 4v3. I have my healer. I'm not, like, super low. So I'm getting my autos while I'm disengaging. Obviously, Sylvanas comes in, so I'm like, you know what? I'm starting to lose some health. I'm going to swipe back and wait for my Dark Flight to be off cooldown. Swipe back. Okay, now it's time to get out of dodge, you know? We end up getting the kill on the noob. So maybe we don't get the kill on the noob if I pussy out right away and don't auto him, maybe we don't get the kill, you know what I mean? I got a couple good Worgen form inner beast autos on that Anubrak. So if I'm just a huge pussy and I swipe and dark flight away immediately without just utilizing my inner beast being up, and we probably don't kill that Anub. Obviously, it's a group effort, but I'm speaking on just behalf of the Greymane. And I did finish the kill. So, and we're just backing up. We're all low. We may turn on this. So this is just like a Forza habit for me. So I see March is dead, and this is what I kind of go into all games thinking this. If I have lower health, if I have a higher health bar than my teammate, there's a greater chance of us getting there's a greater chance of me feigning pressure to whoever's pressuring the lowest health pool friendly, the me feigning pressure onto the enemy so they don't focus March as much. There's greater chance of us getting out if I look like I'm putting pressure, because I can absorb more damage and they're really focused on killing March. But if I look like I'm putting pressure and I'm going to turn, then they may not put this pressure on March. Plus, like I said, I have a higher health bar. It may not be by a lot, but those 500 hit points make a huge difference. So it looks like I do want to go on this Sylvanas. And the Sylvanas, yeah, see, I'm so low I don't even want to take that. I see that Diablo can finish it. So the Sylvanas gets greedy, tries to go for March, and I go in and try and pressure her. Which, like I said, it's your job as an assassin to put pressure. You can peel for your teammates. Even though you're not the tank, you can always peel for your teammates. Always. You are a threat. I see a lot of assassins just scared to peel for their teammates, and it's really silly. If you have the health bars to do it, just try it, man. I mean, like, you kind of have to know the bounds and limitations of each hero. You have to know what you can do. You can't just play scared all the time. Obviously, don't play too over aggro, but this situation just showed that, like, even with 750 health, like, you can put pressure and get a counter kill. Obviously, Greymane's amazing at doing mercs. He has help from 2 buddies, but we took that merc camp very quickly. And just to let you know, like, since we got the kill, I didn't mount up. If you notice, I didn't mount up. I just walked over to the camp because I want to stay in Worgen form. I'm not going to just waste mana by mounting up, then queuing, then going back in Worgen form. Like, I'm just going to stay in Worgen form, walk over, pop my inner beast, and take the camp. Obviously, once again, touching on Greymane's great ability to merc. Right before the Immortals, a good time to get the Bruiser camp. And you notice, okay, I want to talk about managing your inner beast. So if you're taking I only use inner beast on camps if I'm on a time constraint or if there's pressure. And it's almost one and the same. So time constraint can be either objective being up, or if the enemy team is close by, or you don't have vision of them and they can possibly invade. So right now I see the enemy team bottom, and I have friends, so I don't need to pop this inner beast to take this camp. Like, there's no need for me to pop inner beast here. If it was, let's say, if it was only me taking this camp and my teammates were busy, bottom defending, then I pop my inner beast 100%. But since I have friends, like, I don't need to pop the inner beast. It's just it's a waste. You want to have that up as much as possible. If team fight's gonna break out, obviously the Immortal's coming up. Like, you don't want to lose like 5 seconds on not having your inner beast when you're burning the Immortal or a team fight breaks out. Like, that's a huge DPS loss. But you don't need to use it. Obviously, don't use it. And I don't want it to sound contradicting to what I was saying before. Like, in lane I was using it. I was utilizing my inner beast because I'm pressuring the minions, or I'm pressuring ideally the enemy team. And then obviously, like, the minions in between to keep my inner beast up. So yeah, I don't use my inner beast. I just don't think there's a point in this situation, because it's going to get timed out about the same time as the Immortals, and I still have the inner beast up, which is important. If we ever want to take an engage, like right now, my inner beast is up. So let's say the enemy team was around here, and I use my inner beast on the camp, I wouldn't have it up for like an immediate fight. And fights can break out anytime. And something happens to my keyboard, so I'm start complaining and bitching. Sylvanas gets out. And that's good for us because Sylvanas is probably zoned off with not a lot of health. And right now here, I have to be careful. Like, obviously with Greymane can just get charged by anyone. And they have 2 tanks, so I would say a better play would be for me, like, I shouldn't have even been floating around this area. I should have just waited for my Diablo. But I wanted to kind of get the jump, like, not be too late to the Immortal. Now I'm just waiting for vision, and ideally I kind of want to just, since we don't know where things are and we're just poking out Immortal, I just want to throw my Q and let Li Ming do her thing on the Immortal, but throw out my Q on the Immortal and have it splash onto the enemies. That's what I do right there. I hit a couple. So I hit Bam Bam and then it splashes on the Immortal. I think it misses the back line, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to get, I can't predict who it's going to hit. This choke point can be dangerous, so I'm trying to get damage on at least either enemies and the Immortal, or both if possible. And get my stacks up, obviously. So Sylvanas dies to Gazlo, which is a huge advantage for us. And both teams are on 10. I ping my Curse Bolt so they know, obviously. In this situation, I'm going Curse Bullet because there's 2 tanks, and it just pressures the front line so much. And I can't really, like, yeah, Diablo can dive with me, but they have so much range that if I dive with just Diablo, what the enemy team should do is just focus me and blow me up with their CC between their 2 tanks and then their range damage. So that's why I can't really go, like, in my opinion, I think Curse Bullet gets a lot of value here because our back line is, you know, Li Ming. Li Ming is not going to dive with you. Diablos can dive too, but you're going to be at a disadvantage, disadvantage like position if you just dive with Diablo alone onto someone, unless it's like a crazy good play, you know, like the setup and space is there. It's just safer to go Curse Bullet, in my opinion. So Diablo gets a nice charge onto this Malfurion. And I Curse Bullet the noob kind of just to peel him off. He goes because there's no reason to Curse Bullet. You know, obviously the Malfurion. You want to use Curse Bullet like on someone who has full health. It gets less and less value on people with missing health. So I just Curse Bullet the noob. So knowing that we're going to focus the Malfurion after getting the Malfurion kill, we can work on the noob. And since the Lunera has unmounted move speed, it's going to be harder to kill that Lunera without some talents later in the game, like if I get my movement speed at 13. So that's why I go on. I immediately Curse Bullet the Nubrak before going on the Malfurion. Don't hold on to the Curse Bullet. It's only a 30-second cooldown. If you're taking a team fight, use it all the time. We kill. Like I said right from the start, Curse Bullet. Inner Beast is pop. You go Worgen form. You want to go on that Malfurion. He's low. Diablo got a nice engage on him. And now we're going to work on the Nubrak. Pressuring the Nubrak as much as I can. Working my way back to the Immortal. I do lose the Inner Beast, which is unfortunate. A better play would have been to just kind of like know that the Nubrak was going to back up and try and conserve my Inner Beast to smack this Immortal. So, can't play perfectly, so I see the enemy tanks. I see the enemy team coming in, so Dark flied out. Missed Q, which is not the best. I get webbed. And I see, like I said, so that's an assassin. You gotta help your other assassins out. I see Bam Bam pressuring the pressuring March, and I can't really go on the Lunera because she can cut me out at this stage in the game, and obviously their enemy team that's not a good position to be putting myself in between, you know, Bam Bam, Lunera, and then have the rest of the enemy team incoming soon. So I choose to try and help peel with March, put pressure on the Bam Bam so he doesn't continue engaging. And he does, but I pop my Inner Beast, and so I'm trying to get value here. March unfortunately dies, and I see this, and I no longer can help out March. I can't go against 2 tanks, and knowing the Li Ming's going to die, so I make the decision to go up towards the Sylvanas and try and secure that kill. And we jump on her, we get a couple autos, and we're just following her. So at this point in time, I know I can get the kill as long as I stay in range and hit her with a Razor Swipe. So I'm not trying to auto her, I'm just keeping the distance, making sure she doesn't get far enough to, you know, to miss, so I don't miss my razor swipe. So I keep on walking, razor swipe, and out. And I saved my cursed bullet. Sylvanas was already low. She was like under 40% health, so there's no reason to use the cursed bullet there. I think I probably maybe use it on Bam Bam because it's a 2v1, so might as well use it here. Take 613 life off him, right? Still value. Get a couple autos, swipe him, and one more auto, and Bam Bam's dead. And I see the noob, I just want to dismount him with my Q. I can't really, since I didn't have vision, since we had a bunch of people dead, I didn't really have full vision of the team, and I don't really want to go into this like 40% mana and one, 2/3 health, and look at the Malfurion, like, so we don't have vision. I know the noob's there, I could dismount him. I can't really engage on him by myself without having vision. Diablo goes in super deep. I'm trying to follow up, but it looks like the noob knows his position, knows that he doesn't want to get Worgen, so it looks like he's going to burrow out and stun the noob in the way there in the process. I'm trying not to get, and I waited out the root too. Remember we talked about CC? I saw that root went out. There's no point in me going this fucking area. I see too many people do it. They say, oh my god, I want this kill. And they see a big old root, or they see a big old Jaina Blizzard, and they try and walk through it. Just wait it out. You can wait things out. Like, you're not going to get there any quicker. If you walk into the root, you're just going to be rooted. And you're going to take some damage and put yourself in a position to get engaged on. And I get, jumped by the Lunera. Pop my Worgen because obviously people are right next to me. So the root is down, so I'm going to smack this Malfurion. And I see that I'm in a bad spot, so I just disengage. And I use my razor swipe, and I saw that cooldown was coming off for both of these, so I swiped back, and then I'm going to swipe back again, and then use disengage. Asgard has a nice silence, but I'm pretty sure even if he hits me with this, I'm pretty sure I get out of this. I believe. I could be wrong. But really nice job by the Stukov. Actually, just to put that silence, that lurking arm. So I see okay, so we have really good burn, like I said once again, and poke as well. We don't see them, and Gas was already kind of setting up, so I figured just that the right call is just to commit, right? Or maybe it's not. Let's see what happens. I miss a Curse Bullet, which is pretty fucking bad. But what are you gonna do? Pop the Inner Beast, because it looks like we're just gonna finish this Immortal. Get stunned. Inner Beast is still up, so I'm trying to put some free damage on Bam Bam. I get rooted like a noob. That's a really good Malfurion root. So again, use that beetle. Use beetles to get your cocktail. Hit the noob and hit the Malfurion. Didn't hit the Lunera, but that's okay. 2 out of 3 is not too bad.
That was much appreciated.
And we got the objective in the meantime. Miss Globes. Oh well. Rip. So I'm not sure why he's still there. And in this point in time, I mean, like, the damage is trying to be at the Immortal, put pressure with the Immortal. So maybe this is just a sloppy rotation. I don't know why he's not mounted up. Maybe he got caught. Maybe the enemy team made a play. And Diablo also dies. I just try and peel them off with a Curse Bullet. Sometimes you just throw the Curse Bullet off to threaten the enemy team. I didn't threaten as much as I'd liked. And I saw that Diablo was going to die. If I stayed there, I was probably going to die too. I can't, Diablo just gets messed up right away. And Greymane is not a 1v3 hero. So here is just a game. So this is where you don't have to be you kind of have to read the enemy. So the enemy has to deal with this Immortal. And I see that they're backing up, and I'm kind of trying to buy as much time for this Immortal. March understands that too. Since Bam Bam just missed his first CC, and Spartan has no mana, like they don't have a lot. The only thing that can really CC us is Butch, the Malfurion. So we're kind of just floating around this area. You have to be careful. Just get a free cocktail, get some free damage on as much heroes and enemies as possible. Staying mounted, kind of just floating around, zigzagging. You notice I don't leave march, right? I don't just back up immediately, and I see a lot of players doing that. If you have a teammate that's poking, just stay around in that area. If you're not, as long as you're not threatened, like you can stay in that area and get the free poke. Like poke softens up the enemies to go and finish kills. So more free poke is more higher chance to secure kills or kill a minion wave quicker, or anything like that. Now remember when I said use Inner Beast on mercs when you're on a time constraint? I know the enemy team is here. I don't have full vision, so we're on a time constraint. This can be a risky play because 1 is showing top, but maybe 4 are right here ready to take this camp. Like you don't know. So in this situation, it could be a 4v3. They could be at the bruiser, or they could be sitting around at the fort. I don't know right now, right? So I'm committing my Inner Beast to take this camp quick because we're on a time constraint. This could be risky. Soon they come in, and I just use Cursed Bullet to zone them off in case they were all coming to engage. Obviously I missed because I was kind of like, trying to get the fuck out of dodge. Most likely they're on the bruiser because they would have pushed up by now, but stuff to, you can't assume improperly because there's the Luna right there. And when you're ahead too, like you don't even want to take 50-50 fights, right? Like there's no point in taking 50-50 fights. We have damage on the keep top, so if we just let Gazlowe, if we just continue to do what we're doing, like we win, We don't have to take risky plays. No 50-50 fights where it's a 50% chance to win or lose. Only advantageous engagements. Or fights where we look like we have space or we can take the fight well. And I know so initially what I wanted to do was escort with the top, or catch them on the rotation. And my Diablo, I should have pinged the Diablo to come here to this choke because we could have gotten like maybe a nice pick on the rotation, but it doesn't happen. And someone said, okay, so Diablo says pick bot. I'm not really sure what that means, but we're just gonna clear this this camp. I think we should have just escorted the top, honestly. Like we had a double camp. We could have just traded out and so see if we could have pressed with a double camp. Okay, Ming's poking on the Immortal, which is fine. We don't have vision of them, so we kind of have to like we're kind of split here. They could be like 4 in this bush, and we could get heavily punished. But our team does get a nice pick on the Sylvanas. And that's just Sylvanas' poor positioning. As soon as we get that pick, we have pressure to burn or do whatever the fuck we want, Right now it's a 4v4 because Gazlowe is pushing the fort. I prefer him to push the top keep, to be honest. Or come and secure this objective, make it a 5v4 fight. And Bam Bam is super split from the team. Asgard kind of needs peeling, but I guess Diablo wants to commit to killing Bam Bam. Inner Beast is up the entire time. Trying to keep it up, but I couldn't, and I get web wrapped for it. March breaks me on a web. And I was trying to get the fuck over to this. I'm not sure if I was in range. Maybe I was just, I could have been just panicking. But use the beetles, Use, if you can, right click and see if you're in range to Worgen onto this beetle and then Q back up to your fort. Yeah, those beetles go away real quick, so the window of opportunity to go on them, I might have just missed it where I was trying to click and then press E and then oh wait, no, it's gone. The beetle's already gone, so. Obviously just trying to kite back, throw my Q out too. It only takes a half second to throw it. The cocktail doesn't really hinder your movement too much. Just trying to get closer to that 16. Now I wish this Diablo would kind of pay attention. He really wasn't. I don't know where he was trying to go. But March is obviously getting engaged on by the tanks. Diablo's kind of just like going the wrong path, which is okay. But if Diablo comes this way, I can curse bullet. If he gets a stun into the wall, like the new Bam Bam, I can curse bullet. March gets a full combo out, and I'm ready for it too. I'm waiting, but I watch the Diablo kind of just, you know, take a ride on his bicycle for a little bit. Trying to keep up Inner Beast. But like I said, without a tank, like it's kind of hard. You know, if Diablo's there and provides that layer of peel for me, I can keep up my Inner Beast 100% and just auto attack. And with my move speed talent at 13, Greymane's really, he can kind of kite it much better once he hits that 13. Okay, so I see, I get whipped immediately, which is kind of annoying. But you see, I curse bullet bam him, and right from the start, I see him kind of going. And as soon as like Bam Bam's the best target for curse bullet over a Nubrak, 100%, because Nubrak's shields kind of can negate some of that. But Bam Bam doesn't really have like shields or stuff, so it's not curse bullet damage not going to get eaten by shields and whatnot. Plus, he's higher health. So you want to use Curse Bullet on the high health pool tanks. That really kind of fucking messes them up really bad. So Diablo's in there, and it looks like we're going to re-engage. We just have to be careful of the CC from like the Punisher stun, and then obviously Bam Bam's kind of too threatened. Spartan can, you know, stun, Malfurion can root. Getting silence sucks here. I'm also trying not to get hit by this fucking ultimate. The slow is pretty oppressive to Greymane, like Greymane's Worgen form. So as soon as that's over, kind of put pressure on Bam Bam, and then work my way back to these guys because I see Diablo's coming, Asgard's coming. Diablo gets a nice stun, we get more procs. In this chase, like, trying to keep my Inner Beast, trying to get that movement speed. Obviously, you know, it's Sylvanas, but if that's not Sylvanas, me auto-attacking, kiting auto-attacking with my Inner Beast up, getting on that Immortal, allowed me to get that movement speed after 3 seconds. You saw I had the movement speed. So if that's any other hero, but so, like if that's a hero that doesn't have long blink, I pretty much, or doesn't go over terrain, like, I pretty much get the kill. That's like Lunara even. If that's Lunara running away, I get the kill because I have my movement speed, the auto, and then I can Q forward and razor swipe and stay with her and stick to her. But since the Sylvanas, I can't, and it's just time to burn the Immortal anyways. Objective is more important than getting, you know, kills here and there. If you can do both, then great. Q to clear the wave, get the right angle. But I notice I think we're all like going the wrong way. So we head back down to the lane with the objective.
I shall crush all you hold.
Apparently I had a greasy mouse at this point, because cheese fires. Cheese fries. And there's a wall, so we're going to throw a Q over it. Hit as many people as possible. Curse bullet on the noob to kind of just press him off so we can press on this wall. Inner Beast is up and keep my Inner Beast. I'm attacking side walls. Don't forget, you can attack side walls while you're kind of pressing. And I lose my Inner Beast because the fucking root, which I probably should have just went down. We end up getting the kill on the Nubrak. Nice lurking arm, but Asgard's in trouble. So I'm going to try and look like I'm pressuring the enemy so they back off and don't secure a kill. We end up getting a kill ourselves, so... Like I said, even with 1/4 health, like you can still pressure the enemy team off your teammates. You don't need to be scared. Get a nice curse bullet on Bam Bam. He has to go back again too.
An immortal never truly dies. I will return, and heaven will fall.
And two, while they were back there, I should have just moved up here and hit my cocktail on this part of the core so it would splash back to them. But I was kind of scared. I didn't want to get I don't know, I was kind of low, so I'm just like, if I get pulled, if they pull the trigger on me immediately, and Diablo's just like, in La La Land, I might just get stunned and rooted, and then Lunara could put damage on me. So, and I wasn't sure if we are gonna go for the call, like, because two people were dead. Diablo didn't want to do it, so I can't force it without my tank. Here I should be microing. I think I was just kind of like, wasn't sure what was going on. But I should be stutter stepping. Like I should be absolutely, because I see Bam Bam. I should be stutter stepping here, like anticipating. But I might have just been trying to bait out his stun and just queuing back. So Curse Bullet the Bam Bam. Try and put pressure on the Bam Bam. Like I said, once again, he's the best target for Curse Bullet. Dodge Spartan stun. This big lurking arm. I'm in web, and I want to get out of the web. We get a kill on Lunara. Very good APOC. That time I didn't use Inner Beast because I knew the kill was going to be secured. To kind of conserve mana. Made the core call because kind of knew we could just get this core. Like, why not just take the core? The team follows up, good times, and we end up finishing the core. Oh, if I didn't mention this before, another good strength of Greymane is he is an insane core crusher. He burns core really well. Obviously, we have the shit talking in Hero League that's so prevalent. Anyone sees a streamer, they want to talk shit.
MVP.
I put in the fake Twitch input. So if you guys want to, big TV big balls, bruh. But we did pretty good on damage. So it shows that we're pressuring the enemy. We're good at pressuring the enemy heroes. Obviously, we didn't crush it in siege damage. Gaslow is going to take that because he's Gaslow, so he's kind of doing a lot of just killing siege and pushing and stuff like that. But we did a really good job of just pressing the enemy heroes and just putting pressure on them whenever they stepped up, peeling for our friendly, for our friends, and we also did some decent siege damage as well. So that's my first guide on Greymane. I tried to kind of be thorough. Maybe if you have, like, there's any comments, obviously, or suggestions, improvements, feel free to let it be known. I won't take it to heart because I'm a very kind of analytical person myself. So, but I hope hope some people picked up something, and GG's.